So here's a color image here, and it's made out of pixels, picture elements. And to get color, our eye responds. If you give us combinations of red, green, and blue, you can see any color. So you'll hear RGB a lot. Those are the three primary colors. So if you were to put this in an array, you'd have the X and Y position of a pixel, but then you need three different numbers for each pixel: the red value, the green value, and the blue value. So a color image has three dimensions: the X, Y, and the color, the three color channels. A grayscale, on the other hand, is only a two-dimensional array: X and Y, and then the value, the intensity. And our convention is 0 is black, and it's 8-bit, so that goes up to 255. 255 is white, 0 is black, and so halfway gray would be 127. So here's a few pixels we're going to look at carefully. In this representation, they're going from 0 to 1. As I mentioned, we're using integers in OpenCV. So we're using integers 0 to 255. And so this would represent one pixel, the R, G, and B value of it. And if you want to convert color into grayscale, the simple way is to take the average of them. So sum up the R, G, and B and divide it by 3. But a little detail, our eye is not flat response, perhaps because of the sun and plants. Our eye happens to be most sensitive right at the yellow-green 555 nanometer. So this is a formula which actually compensates for our eye's sensitivity. So it weighs heavily the green. As I mentioned, we're more sensitive. But that's just a little detail here. The Python OpenCV instruction that converts color to monochromatic, I think, uses this perception weighed values. Okay, so everyone with me now? So you can see how easily an image falls into an array. The X will be the rows, the Y will be the columns, and then three levels, three channels for the color. Now the orientation, top left is 0. It's really important to get that correct. So top left is 0. So increasing X values go to the right. Increasing Y values go down. It's a little maybe counterintuitive, but top left is 0. Always remember that. And so if you have a color image, let's here call it image array. I assume you know in NumPy, you can always look at the shape of a array by taking the array and then adding dot shape. And so on this array I happen to make here, when I do a print of the shape of the array, it says 480, 643. That means it goes rows first. There are 480 rows. That's how many Y values. There's 640 X values. That's the columns. And that happens to be VGA, which is an old standard. And then 3 represents the color channels. And I'm always used to RGB as the mantra. For some reason, OpenCV likes to do it the opposite. So it's BGR. Channel 0 is the blue, channel green is 1, and channel 2 is red. So if you were to want to know the color of a particular pixel, let's say pixel X100 and Y200, if you want to see the value of the red pixel, you would put in channel 2, and by doing a print statement, I can tell now pixel X100, Y200, the color value, the intensity of the red channel is 23. If it was a grayscale image, you would just have to give it the XY because there's only one channel in the grayscale.